Welcome to the One More Thing Tech podcast. I'm your host, Quasi.
Madam.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got an episode for you today. That is embarrassing, Adam. But we have a great episode planned today. But before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to take a moment to be heartfelt. I didn't tell Adam I was going to do this, but I've just been seeing so much growth in our podcast. And last week we had our first guest, and we had, just such a great reception to that. So, once more, thank you all for showing up week by week. I know we have someone who's close to me, someone that I work with that consistently watches every week, and he's always telling me, he's always talking about my takes on the podcast, and, I just love him. So hopefully one day we can bring him on, but, shout out to him. I can't name drop him because then it's going to be like no surprise if we bring him.
Okay.
I appreciate every single one of you who watches this.
I also want to just thank Chase. I don't think I thanked him well enough last episode. It was a discussion that we had several times about maybe having him on the podcast. And at work, we discussed things about tech in the morning, and it kind of worked out in our favor. And I just want to thank Chase again for coming on the podcast. It worked very well. I thought it was a great episode. And me and Quasi have definitely decided we'll have him on again because that was just so good. And without further ado, let's just dive in today to some tech news. The first one, Quasi. The last time that I checked, you were a Spotify user. Are you still?
Of course.
Okay.
And I'll tell you again, the only reason I use Spotify over Apple Music is because of the feature where you can press. You can start on one device and then just pick up the exact same music on another. Until Apple Music gets that, I'm not switching.
That is a nice feature. I am not going to say it's not. It's really cool. Apple needs to do that. I agree. Especially you can move from your Mac to your AirPods and so on with other things, In any case, what Spotify is inching very close to announcing. Now, this is, to me, I'm excited for this because it brings them one step closer to what Apple Music offers, and that is 24-bit high-res audio with FLAC support. Quasi, this doesn't seem like something that you're excited about that you should be, because this brings them to a spot where people that might be some audiophiles or want to listen to high-res audio can actually start doing that in Spotify. Now, granted, this is just in the Windows app for now. Later on, we should see this on the rest of the platform, and they're going to announce it, I'm going to guess, between now and 2 to 3 months, and it's going to just be better quality audio. You will notice it, Quasi, I promise you. You have devices that support better audio than you have now.
Okay, but here's the thing, Rick. Whenever we talk about Apple Music versus Spotify, you always bring up lossless audio, and I always tell you the exact same thing. I cannot personally tell the difference. It's like me with, I don't want to say 60 hertz versus 120 hertz because I can definitely tell the difference there, but only in certain scenarios. Like maybe I'll be listening to one song and then, I can hear something that I never heard before. But Adam, I don't see how this is going to dramatically change my music experience because lossless audio is really only there when you have a wired connection. And the year is 2025, Adam. If I'm listening to music, it's in my AirPods. I don't constantly have over-ear, or not even over-ear, but I don't have a wire plugged into either my Mac, my phone. I definitely don't have a wire on my phone. Or, I think I do use wires on my iPad quite frequently, but that's really the only one. But to be fair, I guess I do use my iPad quite often, so that's the only time I would really notice it. But I think the thing with me is, if I was noticing it, it'd be because I'm listening only to the music. I'm not reading a book. I'm not playing a video game at the time. I'm sitting there analyzing the music, which is the only reason I'd be able to see that. Or not see, but obviously hear.
Well, okay. Is it because you have just not experienced it to notice it? I think here's what we'll do. If this comes out soon, because what it's supposed to be is losses with 24-bit, 44.1 kilohertz FLAC. Uh,
What does FLAC mean
it's
for
a
the
file
viewers that
type
don't know?
that is a compression for music. So it's closer to the studio quality master audio record. And it's the closest thing to just the actual raw file we get. Now, is it the absolute closest? No, there's our file types closer to that, but it is a highly better quality audio than you see in most platforms that stream because they want to conserve bandwidth. I understand that, but what I'll say is this: let's just see if you hear a clarity difference. If you hear, I don't know, spatial audio and some other things this may offer when it comes out. Let's just go with that, okay? Maybe you just haven't experienced it because, like, I know you're going to Mike's. I'm not going to say his last name, but doesn't really matter. And you will experience audio that you've never heard before, and you'll understand what we're talking about, what audio matters. When you have
I'm
devices
not
that
saying
support
audio
it,
doesn't matter. Let me tell you. My dad, huge audiophile, right? He's got speakers out the wazoo. But like,
okay,
and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't appreciate it. Like, we have some big Sony speakers and we have a lot of Sonos speakers. The bass on that is a lot richer, and I do appreciate that. But the thing is, in my everyday life, I'm not expecting Spotify to just, because I'm listening with AirPods. I'm not listening on a speaker. I'm not listening on a wired connection. It's just that's where
okay.
it doesn't make a difference for me.
Just so you know, your mic or something is, I hear like scratching like all the time. Like, I don't know what that is.
So, continue. Don't mind
Okay,
me.
we'll cut this part out. In any case, what I want to say is I want to see if Spotify for this feature just gives it to us. I gotta pause because this is gonna be in there.
I don't think it is gonna give it
That's
to us.
that fixed it. Whatever you just did took care of it.
Cool.
Okay, wonderful. I'm not sure what that was, but it's okay. Back to what I was saying though. When Spotify brings this to the table, I want to know is this going to be built into the plan they have now, or are they going to charge more for it? I don't know. Do you think they're going to charge more for this, Quasi, or they're just going to just eat the cost?
Judging from prior experience, Adam, it's not gonna be on the free plan, obviously.
Well, not free. No, no, no.
But
The
I do
paid
think
plan.
it'll be on the regular premium plan.
I do
And
too.
here's why. So I don't know if you saw this, but actually, let me just show you. This is another one of my favorite features of Spotify.
Okay, let's see it.
I gotta open my app without doxing myself here. All right, so if you look right here, there's this little blue icon. We're just gonna tap on it. Hold on, the DJ is actually so tough. I don't know what he's gonna play right now because I listen to a wide range of music, but like, it looks like we're kicking off, and the DJ just picks the music for me. I actually
It's
love
kind
this
of
song, so
like
I'm
a
gonna play that
radio
one.
experience almost, right?
Yeah, and then like if you don't like it, you can hold this button right here and then talk to the DJ. Apple Music needs to lock in and bring that feature as well, because like yes, there's features over at Apple Music that I would really love to come over to Spotify. There's one feature at Apple Music that I would really love to come over to Spotify, and that's
What's
the
that?
sing feature, where you can
Okay.
you get the little microphone and you turn it down and
Yeah,
turn it up.
karaoke.
Yeah, that thing is awesome. That's a great feature.
Yeah,
But
it, you know,
it's not there for me to change. Sorry, go ahead. I cut you
the
off.
one thing I'll say though is there's not one platform, to my understanding, that brings it all together to one offering. There's great features from Apple Music and Spotify. I will say discovering in Spotify, I'm told by at least 18,000 million people that it's better. It is, from what I've
Only
seen.
18,000 million.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Let's throw a weird number out there.
we can make more. Go ahead.
But that's one feature people love, and I just want to see Apple put some more emphasis on Apple Music because I want them to get locked in, like you said, to offer features where there's no more comparison, Quasi. And I would love to know the stat of how many iPhone users are on Spotify. You would think naturally you want to use Apple Music, right? But what's the reason behind that? I want to know in your comments if you have an iPhone or an Apple device and you're using Spotify, why? What's the reason for it? You've heard Quasi's explanation, and I'm not dissing that. Spotify is not a bad platform. I just want them to have some better quality audio, my preference, and I want them to have a wider range of music. They're getting close to Apple, which is great. Apple's had a leg in the game for a while, so that's why that when they had Apple Music, it just had a lot more because they already had all these deals beforehand. Makes sense. So in that aspect, though, seeing this come to Spotify is going to make the game a little bit more equal in the offerings, and that's what I'm excited to see.
I do think that Spotify has a lot more users because it also offers a free version. Apple
Yes,
Music does not offer a free version, so that's like a bar of entry. If I wanted to listen to
a good
music,
point.
the first app I'm downloading is not Apple Music because I know that they don't have a free plan. It might be Spotify. It might be Pandora. I lied. It
Oh,
might not be Pandora, but
Pandora's bad. Oh,
it's gonna be one of those options that are free, especially when you're younger. That's why I've been using Spotify since I was a kid, and because of
okay.
that free plan, I could use it. Because when I was a kid, I didn't have any money. I still don't have any money, but it's a little bit different now. You know,
Do you pay
I
for
can
it
afford
now?
the $5.99 for the student
Okay.
plan.
Now, will that change when you're not a student? Are you going to still pay for it?
I was paying for it before I was getting student discounts. I was actually paying for Apple Music and Spotify at one point.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
kind of dumb, huh? But I
well.
liked having both, so 'cause they both had
Okay.
features that the other didn't.
It's good to see a mixture in. So we're not all on the same page with this, right? It's not just me and Quasi just saying Apple's the best. We want to be a little bit reaching out to other platforms and trying them out. So that's nice to see. One thing I'll say about Spotify is their color scheme for their app, the green and black. Love that. Just saying that right now. That's just the best color scheme ever. That's just complete
Good
off
color
topic.
scheme.
Okay,
All right, go ahead.
so Quasi, we keep bringing this up with Apple Intelligence and things they talked about in Dub Dub last year. I'm going to bring it up again, though, okay? Only because there's some good news. So it looks like, according to Mark Gurman, which you know who that is, right, from Bloomberg, he
Who?
is letting
Now I'm
us
troubled.
know in iOS 26.4 public release, mind you, which is expected to be in 2026, I would say the first 3 months of that year, we're going to get Siri with Apple Intelligence as a product finally. It's not the full blown Siri that we want, okay? But it's closer. That's the thing I want to bring to the table. It's a lot closer than we've got before. Siri is right now, as we speak, the old Siri with a new little, interface, which I like though. New Siri is the interface is great. The Siri is just still I can't stand it anymore.
When you
It's
say
getting
the
really bad.
interface, are you talking about the little
Yeah,
like rainbow
little
thing that?
yes.
Oh, I think I like the old one. I'm not gonna lie. But then
Really, I,
again,
I
maybe
like
I'm
the
just
new one.
resistant to change.
Well,
It's been
is
a
it
common
because
theme.
it's just not really what it is? It's just new change for interface, not their actual
Yeah,
Siri
it's
we're
like,
promised.
yeah, it's like it's the same Siri, but just with a new set of makeup.
I
Like,
mean, something had to change, right? Something at least.
I don't know, because the other day, let me share a quick story, Adam.
Okay.
The other day, I asked Siri, do you use ChatGPT? And then it said, let me refer you to ChatGPT for the answer. My God, are we serious? And while I'm on the topic of ChatGPT, let me just share another
Oh,
story. I'm so
okay.
sorry. I know I told you this already,
Don't be sorry. This is a
but
great
like
story.
the audience, they just need to hear it. Let me actually like go to the thing. This is why, uh, from now on, I'm just gonna do everything myself. Is what I'm trying to say here.
Do you
Um,
want to share your screen for this, or
that's
do you
exactly
want?
what I'm about to do. Yeah,
Perfect. I'm just asking because I didn't know if you want to share the rest of it with your screen on.
let's take a look here. Screen flyer design request. All right, watch this. Right, I I asked to use this photo of my parents for this thing that I'm doing, and I love my parents, so I'm expecting a great photo. Now, Adam, take a good long look at dad and mom right here. Right,
Okay.
these are not my
That
parents.
no, no, it's not.
Just making sure. This is why I
Looks
had to
like
do it myself, mind you.
looks like imposters that are trying to pose as your parents to get some sort of government
Right, but
assistance.
that's
I
not even
don't know.
horrible though, right? Ask, can you remove the effects from the faces and make it normal? Who is this? Genuinely, who is this? Okay.
The rest of it looks
Maybe I
pretty good
wasn't
though.
clear. Yeah, the rest of the flyer does look pretty good, but I ended up having to redo it all by myself. No, chat, I'm not asking you to make any adjustments to the photo. Please just use the photo I gave you. This is really important. This is even worse. I've never seen these people ever.
Really important. And it did not. What? What?
He's not
It's
even
like
wearing the same tie, mind you.
it looks like Mike Tyson on the left side that got older, right? And a fan that is super excited to see Mike Tyson, but doesn't know if they should hug him or not.
And then I'm like, chat, what's going on here? Thanks for your patience. Here's what's going on. The flyer you just saw was generated with some edits to the photo you provided. Specifically, it applied AI effects to the faces. I understand you've asked very clearly not to make any changes to the photo. Here's what I'll do now. I'll create a new flyer using your original photo exactly as is, without any modifications or touch-up.
We should clarify: is this the free plan or the paid
This is
plan?
the free plan.
Okay,
But here's the
just
thing,
for
right?
clarification.
You know, it's a give it a moment, right? Okay, I come back in an hour. No rush, but did you happen to get that done yet? Completely ghosted. Chat, can we change the time on the flyer to say 10 a.m.? Not, or I don't know what I was trying to say here, but completely ghosted again. And then it eventually created the photo again. And what the heck is this, man? Genuinely. So that's why I had to buckle down and just do it myself.
That went way worse.
It's horrendous.
It's as if, yeah, got short for no reason like that. Okay, well,
I was a little
that's
bit
just
upset.
a great example of why we can't use AI for everything, right? Because it's stuff like this that it outputs, and it's gotten far better from the Will Smith eating spaghetti looked like it was like a jelly mouth to what it is now, but it's not quite there for everything yet. So we have to just let it evolve and see how it progresses. But that's pretty funny. But as I was saying, iOS 26.4, which is slated to come out in the first 3 months of 2026. Quasi, are you going to be more excited for this Siri than we see right now?
You know,
From what you've been told from Apple.
Adam, it comes to a point where it's like, if you tell me I'm getting let's say I'm getting a new car, right?
Okay.
But then by next year I haven't received said car, right? And I was super excited when you told me I was getting a car. And then, you tell me again 6 months later, hey, you're getting a new car. Ooh, I'm still excited, but I'm less excited now because I've been waiting a minute. Then you tell me again, an entire year later. At this point, it's just like, I don't even care if you give me the car anymore. Like I've been living without it long enough. Not as excited as I probably should be.
Here's what I'll go back to. One thing that companies do to get a product launched successfully is they build hype. And I get this, right? In a company, you have to build hype to make it just worthy of a release that's going to be popular enough, right?
Right.
One thing to note is this iOS is free, does not cost, right? It comes with your phone, so they're not going to make money off the OS. I understand that. But one thing to understand is this. You have to have that gap of when you announce it to when it comes out. If you go and say that this is coming in the fall and you don't deliver that, it's not just delayed, Quasi. It is like people are having birthdays between this is going to come out fully, right? And the issue with that is this. I understand you want to build hype. I understand you want to get investors happy. I understand that there's a market share that has to be met. But what you cannot do is upset the consumer. That is the most important part of all of this. Consumers nowadays want things when, Quasi? Now. They want to wait. Amazon Prime has caught this off guard for us for the most part. We want now. We want not have to wait forever. I already have to wait from the announcement in June for Dub Dub until September for something to come out, right? So
Right.
you aren't making me wait anyway. So now you're going to say, oh, wait, it's going to come
I guess
out
you don't have to
even
wait
later.
if you're like a beta user.
But it's not even that. It's not even that yet, Quasi. This is coming. The series they talked about in WWDC of the last year. It's coming in 2026. That's 2 years of a gap. Acceptable. I love Apple, but you cannot do this. That's why I was so happy to see this dub that we just had, where they did not announce it's not going to deliver. They're safe. They went back a little bit. They didn't do as much, and I'm okay with that. Do not overdo it, because if you do that, people will get sick of waiting and just go somewhere else, or they'll just have to be upset about it. So what I'll say is this: don't do it like an AirPower where you announce it and never deliver. You have to deliver it. I think it's a simple solution. Whatever you talk about in Dub has to, and with no other exception, to come out that September, the new iPhone. No exceptions, not one. No reason. If you cannot do it, do not announce it. It's that simple, right? Is that hard? That's all I want them to do. If you're building a lot of different things, which you are, just wait until it's ready. That's all I'm asking. Okay? And that's a safe bet, and people will accept that. You've been doing it for years. Do not announce it and don't deliver. Not good. So in any case, now it's coming in 26.4. That's great. It's still not fully everything, but we're getting closer. Okay, Kwesi.
I'm sorry, this is a little bit off topic, but you mentioned earlier Amazon Prime,
Yes.
and I'm about to plead with Amazon right here. I know Jeff Bezos isn't the CEO anymore, but Jeff, let me tell you something, Jeff. I was on the family plan for Prime. I think it's all under one subscription. And my dad was paying for Prime, and my mom gets it. My older brother got it, and then I got it. But Jeff, I received an email not too long ago, man, and it said, "Because I'm an adult now, y'all are kicking me off. Don't do this." And I would have talked to my dad. He said it's not even him.
No. Yeah.
Jeff, why are we doing this? I can't afford Prime. I probably could, but like, I don't want to have to pay for it myself.
What does it cost now?
I think it's $14 a month.
Okay. Here's what I'll say about Prime. That even at that price point is, yeah, $15 a month.
Oh,
That's nothing.
it's more than worth it, bro.
It's-
I'm not gonna lie to you. Amazon Prime is 100% the best subscription you could like. And I don't like telling people to subscribe to things, but if you were to subscribe to one thing throughout your entire life, subscribe to Amazon Prime because you get so much with the Prime.
Do you know, Kwesi, that you can still get a discount with student discount, right?
Yeah, student discount is like $7.99, but like I was paying this much beforehand.
I understand. I understand.
And $0 to $7.99 is insane.
I love Prime. What's so sad about it is I don't even utilize all that it has to offer, right?
It has some crazy benefits. Like you probably would just. Well, I don't know if you would know this, but I don't know if they're still doing it either. But back in the day, when you were on Twitch, I think Twitch is owned by Amazon now. But if you were on Twitch, you could get a free sub to anyone's channel, or you could get one free sub, and you can support your favorite creator with that. You can sub, sub with Prime, and then also Grubhub you get with Prime. What else do you get? Obviously Grubhub. Amazon Music,
RX savings, so like medication with Walgreens, CVS, and Amazon Pharmacy. I know they include Walgreens. Well, Walgreens is not even an option anymore. That's the most despicable place.
I don't know if it's Luna. No, that is Amazon's thing. Luna. I know that they have like some sort of Prime gaming thing, but I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
And that's without even mentioning the actual benefits that you're paying for, which is free shipping, 1-day shipping, same day arrival. Oh my goodness. Dude, when I need something in that same day delivery.
No one can even come close to that. Walmart, with Walmart Plus, I can't stress how terrible that is. It's like watching content on a tvOS. That's not an Apple one or NVIDIA Shield. It's trash. But just if you just have the fast free shipping with Amazon, that alone is worth it. I will pay more than $15 a month to ship a package between, a city that's like 8 miles away with USPS. You are 100% gonna make this well worth it. Did you know, Kwesi, that part of our taxes go to Amazon to subsidize this price? Did you know that?
Not know that.
I didn't either. I found this out from somebody that said, "Oh, this is happening. It's in our taxes." I said, "What?" And it's a thing. they use Prime within the government to get things there faster because they can't rely on USPS, which is sad to say that because that's a government institution. But in any case, though, that's why they do pay for that, and it gives us the offerings as well. So that's why it's so cheap.
If
Trust
you think
me,
of it,
they are not
cheap.
making money off of that.
I wouldn't say it's cheap, but it does
15
have
bucks. How many packages do you ship a month, Quasey?
probably like two.
I do. I have a wife. Far more
Uh,
than two in our household. If you ship more than 2 packages a month, it's worth it. Because you're getting it same day or next day or even 2 days, whatever, still faster. If you buy that from anywhere else, it's not getting you free shipping. Let me tell you, you're going to spend more than 15 bucks. I promise you. This is not a moneymaker for them. This is just to help cover some of the cost.
right.
Trust me on this. So anyway, not to go out too much on Amazon Prime, but that's something that is well worth it, and I do love that. Okay, this is a topic I think Quasey and I are both on the same page with, unless that's changed.
Really? Is that what you
Um,
think?
I think
No,
we
go
are.
ahead.
So okay, Quasey, the iPhone Fold. We've had not too much discussion about this, but we've had enough to bring it up at least a couple times. It looks like, as of right now, the iPhone Fold is slated from Kuo. I think that's how you say his name.
Kuo Ming Chi?
Kumin Chi, yeah. Well, but his last name's Kuo afterwards.
Yeah, it's
So,
Ming Chi Kuo, but
yeah.
John Prosser calls it Kuo Ming. Wow, I just butchered that. John Prosser, everybody's favorite
FTP.
front page tech host, because he no longer does Genius Bar, calls Ming Chi or Kuo Ming Chi. Is it a him or a her? I
It's
really
a
don't.
him.
Okay.
Definitely him. Um, yeah. And he's back, by the way. It's been a bit since he released something, but there's probably reasons for that. But to go back to the iPhone Fold, let's just make sure on the same page, Quasey, before we get into the actual discussion here. Are you in or out for the Fold if it came out this year?
Dude, I just bought a new phone.
Okay, take the money out of it. If you were given whatever it costs this device, you're gonna get the iPhone Pro Max, Pro, or Fold. Which one are you getting?
Definitely the Pro.
Okay.
Not Pro Max. Let me make that extremely clear. The iPhone
That's why I put that in there.
the iPhone Pro is what I would get. Not the Fold either. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
Everybody knows I am like the biggest iPad mini lover ever, right? And so a phone that can like fold out almost to the size of an iPad mini would be absolutely stunning. I'm gonna sneeze here in a second, but I don't know what's coming, so we're just gonna keep pushing through. Um, a phone that can fold out to be an iPad mini would be absolutely, just the greatest thing ever. However, you know what scares me the most about my iPad mini?
It might go away soon.
If it were to be, what?
Well, do you think that if there was a Fold, they would maybe stop doing iPad minis?
Oh, that's a possibility.
That's what
Now that
scares
I
me
think
about
about it, I'm just not going to support it at all.
it.
Like,
Well, just because you don't, others will, though. That's the
no,
thing.
I will give horrible enough reviews to where people tune into the One More Thing Tech podcast and they're like, "Hey, Quasey really doesn't like this thing. Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe this phone isn't good. Let's not buy this." And I'll save my iPad Mini.
Yeah, so for me, there's things that scare me about it, okay? So first off, with a Fold, I mean, we've seen competitors like Samsung that comes out, it doesn't just work right off the bat. It took them at least 2 or 3 generations of these Fold products for it to work. I also have concerns about the screen folding consistently, right? And they say there's so many bend tests they do with things, but I still fear that the friction of that folding is going to cause some issues. So it just scares me a bit to see that. Secondly, is this the hinge on them, when's that going to have a problem, right? If you get something in there like dust or, I don't know, a toy of some sort that you have from your childhood, is that going to cause issues? It might. Because some people don't have a dedicated pocket for their phone. They put other things like maybe your keys get stuck with it now. Maybe you scratch certain things that you didn't before. I don't know exactly, but that concerns me a bit. And for me, it's this. This is for sure a first world problem. I don't want to take my phone out of my pocket and then open it like a book. What? I want to see it. I
Yeah,
want
no,
to be
adding an
done.
extra step is kind of a
It
turn off for
sounds
me.
is such a first world problem for sure, but here's just one more thing. And then furthermore with that, because I'm opening it, is that going to give me a better chance of dropping it? It might. I don't know though. But then here's the other thing. So okay, I'm going to show you this really quick. I have a case from UAG. Love this case. How do
That's a
you
nice
protect
case.
a phone that has exposure where the hinge is?
So I don't know if you've seen it, but Mike has a case for his
Oh, I
what's it
have
called?
Samsung Galaxy Fold.
Oh yes, that's what it's. Dude, I knew it was called the Fold, but like I was struggling to figure out which brand it was. It's definitely Samsung.
Oh yeah, he's all about Samsung,
But he
right? And I
definitely
get
has a
that.
case for that.
Well, no, there is, but if you look on the fold part, this is not a fold, of course. Right where it folds, completely exposed. Has to be right for it to work. Now I get that you
Yeah.
could enclose that somehow. There's even a bump, and then does it get dirty in there? Like, there's all these discussions, but that's exposed. And then of course you also have this. The front screen's exposed as well. So with that and that also being part of it, I don't know. There's certain things that I'm just not ready for a fold. Am I saying that I'm never going to be a fold guy? I'm not saying that at all. But I will say this: I will not, it's on here first, will not get the first iPhone Fold when it comes out. I want them to work out some bugs and kinks because there will be some. Even Apple will have problems with this, I promise you. It will not be a flawless device. If it is, I'd be shocked. Now, one thing to note, this leak says that it's coming in 2026. Okay. That means what they are talking about right now is they are going to start making them this fall. That's interesting. So does that mean they're going to make them and test them out before they launch it? Which is something that Samsung never does, ever, never does. They have a half a person for R&D, and that's it. That is
Half a
why
person.
they do. This is why I choose iPhone more than anything else because it's stable. Okay, Samsung and other competitors have better tech sometimes for sure, and other than iPhones. But here's my issue with it: it doesn't work always out of the box. They have to update things. They have to, change hardware around. It does all this other stuff before it's stable. And that's what I don't want. My phone is used by a lot of different things that I do in my life. I check emails. I do a lot of processing for certain things. I do some of the podcast stuff. I do my business stuff. It's just a lot of things I do. I do not want to be unstable. I know right now with iOS 26 beta, right? It's unstable sometimes, but I know I'm getting into there. I don't want a device I get that's fresh out of the box that has issues. I don't want that. And that's something that Android has consistently. So I need to have a device that's more stable than get to a grandma or young kid or any age group, and it just works. There's no big learning curve and all this other stuff. Now, I'm not saying that Android is not flawless. It works great and it has its own perks for sure.
Did you say it's
But
flawless?
no, I said it's not. Sorry, did I say flawless? It's
You
it's
said it's not
not.
flawless.
It is
You
is
said you're not
device.
saying that Android is not flawless, which is a double negative, meaning it's a positive.
What I'm trying to say is Android is not a device that is treacherous. Okay, it has its good things and bad things, and to each his own for who what they choose. Right. I think we're at a point in society where we're not iPhone versus Android, and here's this big discussion and big debate. That's kind of dying down, which is good. It's pick what you want. That's what it comes down to. If I want an iPhone, let me have an iPhone. If you want an Android, more power to you. Competition is good. Okay, so that's always good to have. But what I'll say, even for the iPhone, is the full is not going to be ready and be a great device to start with. I just know it. Maybe it's gonna be incredible. Even if it is, I want to see people use it. I want to see its practicality and use case in the world. Instead of just someone saying, "Here's a fold, just do it." So, but here's a question for you, Quasi. Let's say that they're in generation 2 or 3, right? It has much better processing, a better battery, whatever case is going to be, right? At that point, are you in?
For the iPhone Fold?
Yeah. After all the bugs are worked out.
Possibly. I'm not gonna say no right now, but like it would also be like it'd be a decision I have to make because in my day to day life, the reason I use my iPad mini so often is because I don't know if how many times I've said this, but I use it as like my main gaming device, and that's what I watch a lot of YouTube and other content on. So, and I like to keep that separate from my phone. Like if you look at my phone, of course I have YouTube on it, and I have like 2 games on it. Okay, I have 12 games on it, but like I don't play games on my phone aside from Clash Royale. But on my iPad Mini, like you just keep scrolling through the game. Like when you go to the app library and then you hit games, like it doesn't stop. You just keep scrolling for days. And as such, oh, that's a nice one. I got to use that more often. As such, all right, I need to keep it. I, like I can't use the Fold as an iPad Mini for myself while also using it as a phone for myself because I like to keep those two separate. That's why I stopped bringing my iPad Mini to work. Like it helps me separate. It helps me create that work life balance.
Yeah, I
If
get
that
that.
makes sense.
Okay. We'll see, and we'll bring up in the podcast, of course, and we're going to cover when it comes out. I just want to see overall what you guys think as well about the Fold. Let us know in the comments because I'm not sure if I'm quite there yet, but we'll see. Quasi, the audio issue is back where it's like, that's all I hear.
So
I don't know what that is. See, now it stops again.
that's
Oh, now it's definitely not on the
you know,
mic.
it just occurred to me that I can't do this. Like like I messed it up. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna leave and then come back. Hopefully that'll
Okay,
work.
okay. This part will be cut out.
Back. Hi everyone.
Okay, he's back. Okay, good. Okay, so that's the Fold. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. I'm really actually curious. And the bigger question is, do you think the iPhone Fold is going to be better than the Samsung Fold or the one from Google?
Could be. Not the first generation, obviously, but
They're taking their time though. If they're going to have it made this year and come out the next year, that's pretty impressive. I like that. So in any case, next topic, Quasi. I know you're a huge AirPods user, and I know you're probably expecting that the AirPods Pro 3 are coming out this year. They're not. They're not going to, Quasi. They
what?
pushed it. They pushed it back to 2026.
You're not serious.
I'm serious.
You're not, dude.
Jeff
Yes, I
Poo
just bought
has
these
announced it.
AirPods, but like, this is just
Yeah. Okay, it's probably because of two reasons, right? Reason one, they're not done with whatever they're trying to make with it yet, right? They're trying to play it safe. Or reason two, there's problems, and they don't want to announce it and release the problems. That's my guess. So, what's probably
what's
happening
the
here
most problem
is
that you could have with AirPods though?
connectivity. It could just be this: connecting to your phone or your Mac or your whatever Apple device you have. It's probably just connections with that, most likely, or the battery life could be bad, or it could be pairing issues. It could be that one works, one doesn't work.
Can I
I mean,
stop
I've
you right
had
there
AirPods,
really quick?
huh?
Can I stop you right there really quick? So my AirPods are horrendous when they're connected to Mac. Like, yes, for the most
Really?
part, they're great, but like every so often, and like it's becoming a constant issue that I've been hearing about online with all the M series Macs. Eventually, they just like start cutting out, and like that's why I don't listen to anything. Like that's why I don't consume content on my Mac because well, that's not true. I do, but just not with my AirPods in. Because when my AirPods are in, it'll like start cutting out, and then like it's just dropping audio. Like
Is this an issue with just the pros or like
no,
the
it's been
maxes as
happening with
well?
people who have Airs. So I don't know.
Oh,
I
what
don't know what's
about
going on
AirPods
with it, but
Max?
like I don't know if it goes on with AirPod Maxes, but I know it goes on with
Okay.
regular AirPods because I have those and the AirPod Pros. If you want to buy me AirPod Maxes for my birthday, which is not coming up anytime soon at all, but if you feel like you need to bless me, I'm not just talking to Adam here, guys. I will put my address if you want to buy me AirPod Maxes for my birthday, but just like hopefully they come out with new ones sometime soon because last year's update was barely an update, if you can call it that, to the
Yeah,
AirPods Max.
that's true. Well, There's one thing though with USB-C that will support like lossless audio with the DAC because it doesn't
Ooh,
support. Hey,
my fault.
if you're going to do an upgrade, that's something to do at least. That's all I gotta say. Other than that, nothing changed. That's about it. The port
No,
changed.
Adam, they changed the colors. The colors changed. Most important change you'll ever
To
see.
something better? No. There. Once again, I'll say this again. We have to find Quasi in the interwebs of searching who at Apple is choosing colors. They know they suck so bad they're not making themselves known. Okay, anywhere. You can't look at anywhere and just see who that is. Because if you did, I'm sure there'd be like people trying to riot their house for just the bad choices they're making because it's terrible. Like, okay, this is black. Okay, space gray is not black. Make a black option. Space gray, get rid of it. I want black.
The industrial design team led by Molly Anderson. If you
We should have her on the podcast. It won't be a good one, but we should have that.
it won't be a good one.
It's gonna be one. I'm gonna be so angry. Maybe we'll make
You're
her.
just sitting there yelling at her.
It's possible we can make her change her mind and bring back colors that actually are good. Because why does the base model get better colors than the Pro models? Do you know why? Because I don't know why.
Dude, because you know how many times I've looked at the color of my phone?
It's
Adam?
it's because of the lack of colors. The first thing I
really
would do
don't
with my
think it
phone is
is.
put a case on because it's so bad. Stop it.
You have black.
Gold.
Black is not a bad color at all.
Quasi. This is not black. This is space gray.
Well, it
That's
looks
they
pretty
want
space
you to
gray
believe.
to me.
They want you to believe that Quasi.
They want me to
This,
believe that.
this yes, Mike little thing that's black. Then the mic's black. See the difference?
Hold on. This
Different
this
color
part-
right there.
This
Different
part
color.
is the same color as your phone. Let's be honest with ourselves. Wait, why is yours flashing green and mine is like?
Well, I just know what I'm doing with it, I guess.
Imagine our podcast color. This is awesome.
There we go. Any case, the first iPhone was black, right? People loved it. It was huge, top seller, great. Do that again. I just do it 1 year. Just see how it works. And here's the thing: gold, the most despicable gold I've ever seen in my life. It's terrible.
Despicable gold.
Quasi, pull
We
it
don't
up.
have a
Let's
gold
just
color, do we?
yeah.
Is it
Look
the
up
desert
right now.
titanium
No, there's gold. I'm
for iPhone?
Is there?
I think it's desert titanium this year because it was natural titanium, desert titanium, black and white.
Okay, desert titanium.
That's the
what
one
they
I
call
have.
it, I guess. Okay. Okay. Look up. Go ahead and do a screen share. Just look up the iPhone and in a gold color.
You want me to look that up or look into
Yes.
the iPhones?
Yeah. You won't have to look far. I promise you. Okay. Even right here. Okay. Even right there. There's one that's blue, right?
Yeah, hold on. Let's go to the iPhone 16 colorways.
Okay. Let's look at the
That
base
iPhone.
iPhone 16. Let's just do this really quick. I just have to do this. Yeah. Go like to man. There's gotta be a spot you can see all the colors.
Yeah, no, that's definitely what I was thinking. But like,
Maybe go to buy. It's gotta go to the buy screen.
oh, here we go.
Okay, right there. Okay, not the
What
best
is this
colors.
color?
The only color that makes sense is the white one. That's white. You can't mess up
Okay,
white.
this
I mean,
is
you
definitely-
can, but they haven't.
What is a space gray or? That blue is beautiful. What are we talking about?
No.
That is a beautiful blue. Obviously, it's not iPhone 12 blue, but this is a beautiful blue.
Yeah, that one. The iPhone 12 blue. It's still not the best, but it's better. Matte
What do you mean it's
colors
not the
and
best?
washed out colors. Like they expect you to look through this as a Vizio TV, where it's going to be washed out. I want colors. Okay, look up Product Red right now from Apple.
Yeah, that just doesn't exist anymore.
They're bringing it back supposedly. We'll see. Good cause, by the way. Too.
Yeah, and then they switched it to
Just
COVID
any
in
image.
2020.
Go
Dude,
like
this
to
product red iPhone 8 Plus.
see right there.
Beautiful color.
Do you see my point? That is a good color. Everybody will say it's a good color. Not one person even people that are blind are saying it's a good color. Okay, but what I gotta say is the lineup now It's treacherous. Now, so go back to where you were for the iPhone 16 base. Okay, pink, getting closer, right? I'm not sure what that green color is, but it's not green. It's
It's
like
like a teal.
swamp green. Yeah, it's not good though. Not go to the Pro models.
So you actually have to like go back to the top, and it just like doesn't bring down like a drop down menu.
Some sites
here.
have a little arrow.
Yeah, you would think
Yeah.
billion-dollar company, trillion-dollar company can't put an arrow on the thing. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi that's making this thing take forever to load, but ooh, that looks beautiful. Hold on, these ads looking beautiful right here. Oh, here we go.
Right there.
I did
Okay.
not know it was gonna be there. I'm not gonna lie.
The colors look
Black
like
titanium.
it's not black. Don't call it that.
It's
not that.
black. Adam. Let's be realistic. It's
Okay.
not gray.
Here's how I know this. So, what is the color behind the iPhones in that picture?
Black.
Okay, so
There are different
was
shades
black-
of black.
if it was black, you couldn't even see the iPhone because it would blend in so well. But it doesn't blend in.
Black.
The shadows of this iPhone blend in with the black background, but not itself. It is a darker gray. That's what it is. It's dark gray. Next to it, we have what color?
Do you want the name of the color that
Yeah.
Apple calls it, or it's
Yes.
natural titanium, which is like a silverish.
Yuck. Okay, that's not though. That's not what
Yuck.
titanium looks like.
Let me tell you why.
Yuck.
So my dad
Boring.
bought the white
Yuck.
iPhone 16 Pro Max, right? And my older brother got the black one. And obviously, I can't sit there and copy either of them, right? So I was left between two colors.
You did
And
copy the Pro Max,
obviously-
though.
So first off, I didn't even want.
You
Don't
didn't
get me
turn around
started.
and return it, though,
Don't get me
Quasey.
started.
You
'Cause
could've
I already
done
paid
that.
for it. I already
I
paid
know.
for it. But like, I was left between two colors, and one of these colors just isn't it.
None of them are it.
Dude, the white and the black are good colors. Like,
The white is good. That's a good white. I'll give you that.
that is a beautiful white.
But
I feel like
you're
they
calling
never
it-
mess up the whites.
You were calling it black when they don't even do that. They call it space gray.
They call it black titanium. It's right here.
But look up the original iPhone, Quasey. We gotta do this. It's gotta happen.
So it's actually
Oh.
silver.
Okay. Look up the first black iPhone, I guess. Right there. That's one right there.
Yeah, this is
That-
actually like not even that
that-
black, to be honest.
Quasey. That's the absence
Wait,
of
I have
color.
this exact same crack on my iPod at home. Like this exact same crack on my iPad.
All
on
I
my
gotta
iPod
say
Touch.
is they had black iPhones. Just bring that back. No one that has space gray is going to say, "Oh, I'm so upset that the space gray is gone. I'm going to go cry in the corner." They're going to be like, "I can't believe this is finally
So
happening."
you're definitely talking about me right now because I would go cry in the corner.
You
How do we feel
wouldn't-
about this one? This black. Oh, that's not even black. Let me stop. That's less of black
Quasey.
than anything we've seen today.
Exactly. The camera is black on it. The camera little thing, that's black. Rest of it, not black. No. Mm-mm. The front of it's black. Okay? It just gets me upset.
Is there no black
Make good
iPad?
colors. Make good colors. No, they don't. They have,
would- Why would
they
not have a
don't.
black?
all these
regular
are
iPad?
washed out colors. For
These
every
are not
drop
bad
of color,
colors.
they,
For the
they are.
iPad?
Okay. So they're making yellow, red, blue.
I don't know if
Whatever,
that's
titanium
red. That's
color.
more like a pink.
Could be pink.
Adam, are you colorblind?
If you
Is
if
that
you
what's going on
can't
here?
if you can't even know what color they're trying to go here with, that's
I
that's
definitely
bad.
think that was just
That's
you. I think everybody knows that's pink.
Okay, so even if it's pink, it's not like the pink people want. Why is it
You
gotta
want
be
like a
this
bubblegum
matte?
pink?
Well, maybe give me an option. Give me something. Okay, I don't know. I hate washed out colors, like where like every drop of color has a gallon of water with it. It just looks
Okay,
like
so
it
that
just
was
they could
the
do
iPhone
better.
15s. I'm not gonna hold you. The iPhone 15s had some of the most washed out colors ever. Why did it just take me to the buy page? Do we not have a thing up for the iPhone 15 anymore?
Well,
that is
this
that is
will
sad.
this will show you the color options. Scroll down,
You
hopefully.
have to pick at your phone first.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, these are
Do you
bad.
see my
That's why
do you see my point
literally
though?
black was the only one that you could really take here.
But do you see my point? But then
I
once
do.
again, it's not black. It's just not. It's close.
I guess
It's
I
not
guess
there.
the little blue one was cool and the pink, but
No,
these are just so
that-
washed out.
they should be embarrassed. for those colors. Just treacherous. That's what that was. It, is it that they can't afford good color? Is that it? Because like, just do better. I don't know. I just get so upset. Okay, we're so off
But
topic,
hold on,
Quasey.
wait, hold on. I'm so sorry, but like, there's before the 15 Pro or before the 15 Pros, there was the iPhone 14 Pro. Why can't I type? It's not letting me type. But you know the 14 Pro? Hello? Can I type, please?
Yeah,
Hold on. Let me figure out what's going on here.
you should be able to type.
Yeah, give me a second.
Okay.
Screen, share screen. All right. This purple, we're going to find it. This purple color, this is not how I remember it actually. This colorway was decent. I'm not going to lie to you. These colors here, I wish they didn't get rid of the purple. I wish they just like refined it. And then the 13 Pro, oh my goodness, hold on. Let me show you the
Just
best color you've ever seen in your life.
just look at the word purple in a new tab and an image.
No,
It's
it's okay.
not that.
It's okay.
Not that.
Look at this blue, dude.
That's better. It's not there. Like, okay, you know, like the colors of the rainbow. I'm not saying to
I
that
do.
extent. Okay, something close to like when I see red, product red, close to the red rainbow. Blue. I want a good blue. Okay, you know, like the 95 Mac logo, that blue, where it says
Yeah.
Mac. Give me that blue. Right? There's just they could do better, and they're just not. And they're bringing this matte colors. Matte colors, you need to stop. It's good in a fire truck. That's about it. Just stop it. I know.
You
I'm
don't
just
like
getting upset
matte?
about this. Matte colors? No, washed out,
Oh,
dull, boring, not good.
I'm just
Get
I'm just gonna disagree
vibrant,
with you.
vibrant colors. See
All
this shirt right
right,
here?
okay.
This is
No,
blue.
it's okay.
This
Hey,
is this is an
it's
orange.
it's okay.
Just do that.
It's okay. I'm just
I
gonna
went to school for graphic
respectfully disagree
design.
with
I'm
you.
telling you.
I'm just gonna respectfully disagree with you because
Okay.
matte is like. Let me not get started. But a matte. Let me actually just one thing. A matte
Go ahead.
black
Go ahead.
has to be the coolest colorway ever. Dude, if I see a matte black car, I'm in love with that car. It doesn't matter. It could be a 2007 Volkswagen Jetta. I'd be in love with the car just because it's matte black. That's why I bought the iPhone 15 because they put the frosted glass thing on the back and it was matte black. Dude, I was gonna buy the black iPhone 16 because it's matte black. You just don't understand the appeal of matte black.
But if the black color was just like a shiny, like here's a folder, okay? Matte black,
That's a binder.
same thing, boring. It's just, Quasey. I know we're going on too much about colors, but I just like this shirt, blue, better blue than the iPhone blue, right? Would you say? Would you agree with that?
You can say that.
Would you say this is better blue than the iPhone blue? That was like
You can say
this
that.
blue. The same color they put in this shirt could have made 45,000 iPhone. That's
Would I
all
want
I'm
the
saying.
iPhone that color? Probably.
You would 100% you would. There's no doubt you would. I guarantee if they brought a green iPhone in this green, this is a bad example. Our
I'm not gonna
logo
buy
color
that.
green.
I'm not gonna.
Our logo for One More Thing Type Podcast. If that green was in an iPhone, you'd buy it in a heartbeat.
No.
No questions. You wouldn't.
Maybe because of brand identity, but just
Okay. It's just we're on two
I don't
opposite
think I
sides, and
want
that's
a green
okay. It's
iPhone.
okay. It's okay.
If you had said like red, I could understand red, but I don't know if I want my iPhone to be green.
Okay.
I'm sure somebody does though. Sorry, we've been on
In any
this
case,
for
we
a minute
have
here.
been. It's good discussion though, to be honest with us, and we didn't really argue. We just kind of had debate. It's okay. Okay. Speaking of debates and speaking of things that not good, I guess. Let's talk about the betting that happened, Quasey.
Okay, so
Did
do
you
want to bet
see?
or okay, go ahead.
Okay, no, go ahead. I want you to say this one.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I have horrible news for you. Let me see if I can report this like how NPR would report it. A staggering 16 billion logins have been exposed in an epic data breach, including, ladies and gentlemen, your Apple accounts. Now this is unfortunate for people like me and my mom, right? Because like for me, I have about
And 16 billion
80% of my
people.
passwords that are
Oh,
the same. Obviously, the important ones like my bank account has a couple characters differentiated. I'm like, my bank account is actually a completely different password.
Don't tell me you do that.
But like,
Don't.
here's the thing, right? On anything I sign in with Google on, 90 or 80% of websites at least, I have the same password on. And hearing that it's been in a data breach, I'm just sitting here thanking God and thanking my lucky stars that I decided to be smart enough to like not make my FAFSA information the same as my Capital One information.
You use the same password on more than one account?
Yes, Adam, these are accounts that like if they get hacked, I'm not worried about.
Just don't do that.
No,
For
don't do that.
ever.
I'm
Like,
not
there's no
endorsing it.
reason. I don't care if it's for Crayola.com. Don't do that.
Is that a website?
I have to imagine. Don't do that.
No way, it's a website.
Same as Kleenex.com too, if you can't believe it. In any case, let me give you all a very quick rundown on security. For every account that you have that's online or anywhere with a password, I recommend super highly that you have a separate password for every website and not like, let's just say it's password 123. Don't do password 1234 exclamation. Change it in every way. Okay. I use one password as I mentioned last time, and I have it create the passwords for me. I do not want to have a password that I know myself. Okay, I want it to be a long password that is so complicated that not a script, a person, or anybody can get past it. Can they? They probably still can, but it's gonna be hard for them to do that, right? And what I'll say is this: if you have the option for a two-factor authentication, or they call it MFA sometimes, do it. Because if your password is exposed, guess what happens? Without that 2FA code, you can't get into it. Now, I shouldn't say that out loud. You probably can still find a way somehow by hacking it to get into it, but that makes it much more safer than if it wasn't. So, what I'll say is this: I know Apple, for me, has made me change my password. Are they for you yet, Quasi?
They actually have made me change my password for like
Okay. Same here. So if you have not, it's just probably good that you change your passwords for almost everything because we don't even know what was breached besides Apple right now. There's a lot more that's been breached. And this is mostly because of data centers and various other things that were hacked. So unlike your password was weak and they hacked it, this is an infrastructure hack. So they got into the databases with these passwords. So it wasn't your fault this time. But what you need to do to be very safe is change them, enable 2FA, and make sure you're safe. And if you see anything suspicious, right? Oh, why is my background for this, avatar now a squid instead of my picture? Well, that's some signs. And maybe with Chipotle, someone bought 45 burritos and spent $10,000. Just make sure that happened to me. Not that
Somebody
much, but it happened to me. Here's what happened to me with
You can tell
Chipotle.
them that you bought the Chipotle and accidentally ordered too much. You can tell everybody.
So just tell me why. So I get a notification from Chipotle that there's an order, right? And it was going to San Jose, California. I'm like, well, I know nobody there, and I am not there right now, if you can believe it. And I called Chipotle and say, what is going on here? And they have not yet still admitted that they got hacked, but it was on their side. If someone got through my password that was the maximum characters, I think it was like 32 characters long, there's no way they could just get into that. Come to find out, they were definitely hacked, and I got my money back. It was fine. They did the right thing. But just know that there's things that can happen. Like, could you imagine, Quasi, if someone could hold your Amazon account? They could buy a TV, fridge, car, and a tiny home on the same day, and you're screwed. And change your name and disappear to the Cayman Islands. When that happens, guess what? They got what they wanted, and you have to deal with, the, what is it, FDIC insurance thing that takes so long to get your money back. It's just a thing. In any case, just letting you know, for this, it's happened. It happens to even Apple. Be safe, change your passwords, and just make sure that you're monitoring your accounts in case this happens to other accounts as well. But if you have passwords that are the same between accounts, change that instantly. Quasi, I'm talking to you, even if it's a small variation change. Make every account password very unique and different, and do not put like your name, your kid's name, and your dog's name backwards. Make it complicated so you can't even guess it.
Mom.
Yeah, you just can't do that. It's not secure, not safe. Please don't do that. That's the free security tip of the day. Okay. Any more discussions with this, Quasey?
No, but I do have something I do want to talk about, which is
Okay.
my favorite gaming console, the PlayStation. No, I'm trolling. Actually, I don't have a PlayStation. I've never had a PlayStation. I got to be honest. The PlayStation 5 seems pretty cool, but it's just,
It's
I'm
not a
not,
bad
I'm not a
console.
PlayStation user.
It's just not as good as Xbox.
Some would argue that it is better, and let me tell you why.
Spec wise, it's not.
Spec wise, it's not. But the controller,
Exclusives from PlayStation can be better,
holy.
yes.
Let me tell you something about the controller, Adam. Their
Oh,
controller is at like the design of the controller. I don't like how the joysticks are both in the same place. But when it comes to the features on the controller, dude, I'm talking. I I forget which game. I was playing the game that comes to show the. I think it's like Alto's Playhouse or something like that. I really don't
uh-huh.
know. But like, there's this part where like he's moving sand, and you can feel every individual grain of sand. Like that vibration motor is absolutely insane. And then let's say you're
Okay.
playing NBA 2K25, the game that I constantly play, even though I don't like it. And you're playing against somebody, and you're holding the trigger to make him sprint. All of a sudden, his the character's his bar is too low to sprint. He no longer has any sprint. You will feel the trigger lock up as he's getting more and more tired. I think that's the coolest thing ever. I
Talk
wish.
about on the
Yeah,
DualSense,
yeah.
correct?
The adaptive
Okay.
triggers are absolutely insane. I
Not
think,
saying that that's not good. For me, it's the ergonomics. That it's like a boomerang that is modified
yeah,
for a
no, it's for
controller.
alien hands, but that's
Yeah.
some people can use it. So
Yes. It just it holds weird. After a long play, my hands hurt. It's just me. I don't know. The controller from Xbox is more ergonomic, and that for me, for long play periods, is fantastic. But that's not what we're talking about here, right? That's just a lot of our opinions right there.
yeah,
What I wanted to bring up though, Quasi, Xbox, when this comes out, will officially win all console wars. They
yeah,
won.
definitely.
There's no more discussion. It's done. You cannot, unless Sony brings out theirs, it does the same thing. They're not going to come close to this. This is the best part they've ever done, and it's risky, but in a good way. Okay, so do you want to tell them, and then I'll branch off from that.
So basically, what's going on here is that the CEO of Xbox, which I did not remember being Sarah Bond, but apparently it is Sarah Bond. Maybe I'm uninformed. I don't know how long this has been a thing, but she let us know that Microsoft is partnering with AMD. If you don't know who AMD is, literally look it up. It's not hard. They are I almost just told you who they are. They, they're a chip maker. To co-engineer new silicon for their next generation Xbox consoles. Now, if you don't know what silicon is, it's basically just the chip. Okay, this includes new handheld devices like the Xbox ROG, or I don't know if it's called the Xbox ROG Ally, but the Ally that they have coming out.
LAX.
Yeah, and then it aims to create like sort of a gaming platform that's not locked to a single store or device, if that makes sense. So like it won't be locked to just Microsoft Store and the Xbox Store. We're gonna see things like Steam. I want to say Epic Games, but Epic Games is
Every
gonna be an
launcher,
Epic game. Yeah, every launcher.
Epic,
I've never heard of
EA.
GOG.
Yeah, they're like if you want to say my own games, they're a pretty good launcher. They have the best deals probably you could ever get for a game. I mean, they just do that. I mean, Steam has waves for like summer sale and so on. They're like average price is cheaper, even for new games. So like that's pretty nice. But Quasi, this tells me. Let me just try to contain this excitement. Besides the Nintendo Store and the Sony Store, you can play every game you bought from everywhere. Is that what I'm hearing from
Shit,
this?
dude, it's so awesome. You don't
What
understand how awesome that
what is
is.
going on? This is awesome. There's one issue with this. They have to give us more storage because that means now my library goes from 360, let's just say, to like
2 million.
1,020 or something, right?
Dude, my AirPods just did the thing where it drops audio that I was talking about earlier.
See, that's not good.
I'm
But
not a big fan of that feature.
back to this incredible news. They are making this so you can play what you bought on Steam and GOG, EA, the whole works in the Epic Games Store. What is going on here? That's fantastic. That
It seems
means
like Xbox just cares about the consumer.
it's a risky move, but I'll tell you this much. That is going to make everything a lot better. Now, I could buy games on Steam if I really want to and play on my Xbox. Crazy. This changes everything because now they're not just allowing developers to go on their own platform. And I wonder if they take their exclusives that they have and they bring it to other platforms as well. That would be a bigger announcement. But this is, for me, fantastic. I mean, we didn't really talk about the Xbox Ally and Xbox LAX, but they are phenomenal. And by the way, the Xbox LAX reminds me of the airport in LA. But in any case, what to me is incredible is that you can play virtually any store on this, and the possibilities are endless at this point. I thought that they could just have the LIX and the Ally launch, and that's all they need to do this year. They're also doing a console. And the fact they work with AMD, it's not the first time. This is like they always have, to my understanding, for the Xbox. But they are going to bring a better chipset that we've ever seen in a console. That is just going to be fantastic. Now, here's my question, Quasi. Given the opportunity, let's say the Xbox, new one's coming out. It's coming out in a month, right? And so is the LAX, which is the better version of the other handhelds. Which one are you going to get?
Like the new Xbox console versus the LIX?
Yes,
Well, that's a tough one.
I
I
know.
think I'd have to get the new Xbox console.
I would, in a heartbeat, get the LAX.
Like, I see where you're coming from. Don't get me wrong. But I just don't think I'm going to be playing on the go as much is the issue. And I think I want a bigger screen.
I don't think you understand, Quasi. You don't understand. What does the Nintendo Switch offer right now?
On the go, and then like it's a hybrid console. You can play on the go and on the
Yes.
TV.
If you can get the similar chipsets that's going to be in the console into a handheld, why would you on earth pick just
Okay,
the
but
console?
isn't the Ally just 1080p? Isn't that the highest it goes?
You're not understanding, Quasi. If you could hook that up to a TV and get 4K,
I did not
120
see them saying
hertz,
you could hook it up to a TV and get
you
4K
absolutely
120
can.
hertz.
There's two USB-C ports on it. The Ally currently from ROG lets you do that. They're not going to take that away. It's the same thing. So if you can hook up your controller from Xbox or a keyboard and mouse and then just play this LIX, which is 24 gigs of RAM, mind you, which is
I don't
more
know.
than
I think
any
it's just not
console
gonna be as
has.
powerful.
Oh, if it was, I think it's the same chipset in both. I think it is. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's the same. You
I don't
cannot
think
tell me in a screen this big, it can't fit a processor that's the same as in both. I'm telling you, it's going to be the same. The ability to play portably and in anywhere with a TV, with a dock, crazy. There's no reason on earth why you would not do that. 24 gigs of RAM in a handheld. That's not been done yet. Do you know what I'm saying out loud? A console. Let's just go with the Xbox Series X. That has 16 gigs of RAM. Did you know that? 16 gigs of RAM. Yep. That's all it needs.
It's interesting.
Yes. So if a handheld is going to have more than that and has a better chipset, now the GPU is going to be lacking slightly, but if you dock it, you can play most everything. A Steam Deck that came out years ago now can play most AAA title games if you put Windows on it, right? Or use SteamOS. This is going to change everything. I see a shift in gaming where we're going to a spot where we're going to see handhelds take over. When I was a kid, we loved handhelds. It's coming back, so my generation's going to love
Me
it.
too. I love them.
I'm
That's why I
telling you.
repaired my 2DS over there.
if Nintendo is fully going to handheld only, they're not having a Wii, they're not having a GameCube anymore, they're having a handheld device that can be docked. That's where it's at, Quasi. And the sales show it. They sold every single one they made, and they can't keep up as we speak. If that's the case, that tells me that's what people want. I know Nintendo's a little different what they have for offerings of games. That's not the point. The point is this: if I can take this with me on the go, plane rides are way more or less boring now. And I can go to my house and put into a dock or just sit down and play on the couch if I really want to. It's just what you can do. It's different, right? I'm not tied to one spot to play my Xbox. I can go anywhere. That's what's all about. Maybe it's just me, but if you had a handheld now that was like a Steam Deck, you would know way more what I'm talking about. It doesn't hit you until you get one. That's all I gotta say. What I will say this is, if I can play all my handheld, my games from Xbox and everything else, that is just to me the most exciting thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And I want to see Sony come out with one too. I'm not saying I don't. I want them to succeed here because they made the PSP, which was incredible back in the day. It was the best. I never had one. I wanted to get one, but like people love that concept. Bring it back. And am I saying this is going to be the replacement for consoles? It could be. I don't want it to be though. I want to have an option like we have now. So to me, I'm super excited about this. I want to see what this has to offer. The price point for the Ally X is going to be about $1,000. It's expensive in comparison to a standard console, but then again, it offers way more functionality, plus Windows on it too. That means you can basically run Windows on this thing, Quasi, and it's a full-blown computer that you can dock and bring with you anywhere you want. Think about that. You want a computer that we just talked about just the other day, right, to play games on. There you go.
Yeah, but like I feel like the actual dedicated console is going to be more powerful regardless.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, we'll have to agree to disagree because
GPU,
it is time.
most likely. What do you think it's going to lack? GPU, most likely, right?
Yeah. Like, it's
Okay.
definitely, and I think what the Xbox comes with 12 teraflops of power. I don't know if you're putting 12 teraflops of power into.
Well, people care about basically two things: frame rate and how well it just plays in general, right? If you can achieve a 120 hertz screen on this device and you can get so just play smooth, they're not going to care. And I'm not saying you're going to play this device in a just handheld only. Like that's what I think you're getting wrong here. You can just dock it. I played a game yesterday on my Steam Deck with a keyboard and mouse. And I use my screen on the Steam Deck, but I can go to a TV, I can go to a projector, whatever I want to go to. I just want the option to do that. And I think when you see that done, it changes everything. Now it's not just a handheld anymore; it's a console, right? But you can do all that with it. So for me, this announcement from Xbox is super exciting because it changes competition. I want to see exclusive on our console go away. I do. Because everybody's got their own opinion about what they want to play with. Sony or Microsoft or handheld, whatever, right? But now, if I can play that same game on any console, that changes. You know why? Because now, Quasi, I don't have to buy a Switch 2 to play Mario Kart World, right? It's a different price point. If I'm on a budget and I can't afford to buy a Switch 2 plus $80 for a game, does that mean this? That now I could play a game and only spend $80 and play it on any console? As Chase said, if Nintendo brought their games to other consoles and markets, they're going to stop making consoles. And I agree. It's everybody else does it better than, but they only do that because they don't need to do anything crazy because they don't make games that are high performance games for the most part, right? And that's okay. But if I can bring these portably, play at my house, play in a car, play wherever, that changes everything. It's not that you can't play this natively on it. Like it's not cloud gaming only. It's on the device, offline if you need to. I think if you had a console like this, Quasi, you would change your opinion, and that's what it takes to make that move. It's just making that little jump to try it. Because so if you got the LIX, you would mostly play on that more than your Xbox. I promise you. I didn't think so either. I was the same way. A certain student worker that's no longer a student worker, he's out in the world of, making his own money with his own job. He said the same thing. I said, I have an Xbox, I have a Switch, I have a computer. Why would I buy this? He's like, trust me, you just have to try it. I said, okay, I don't usually trust you, but I'll just trust you anyway. I did it, and I'm telling you right now, I'm playing more of my Steam Deck than I do anything else. It's the experience that it offers that makes it incredible. Did I play on my Xbox? Did I play on my PC? Absolutely. But the Steam Deck's where it's at. Handheld's where it's at. That's just my opinion. I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. For sure. Okay, we have to really wrap up quickly because I have to get somewhere. But Quasi, app of the week.
So my app of the week this week is going to be the Xbox app, right? And now next week you're gonna hear me say something similar, but this week make sure you realize it's the Xbox app, not anything else, not the cloud gaming app. That's next week's app of the week. It's the Xbox app, and let me tell you why. I hate being on like parties through my actual Xbox for some reason. I don't know what it is, but like I just don't like it, right? Because when I do it, I can't hear the people who are in game chat. What you'll realize when you talk to me is I am like the worst trash talker that you'll ever come across if we're competing, right? I'm always just like sometimes I don't even know where the trash talk comes from because like I like this person. Like why am I being mean to this person? But in 2K, I don't like it.
I heard this yesterday. We were talking about Uno. So,
Yeah,
and we
no,
didn't play.
I'm just way too competitive for no reason.
I'm the same way. That's why I hate PvP because I get too angry when I lose, which happens far too much.
So like what I do is I use my Xbox to be in game chat, and I use my Xbox app to still have my party chat open so that I can talk trash to the losers who I'm playing against. Even if I'm losing, I'm still talking trash. And then I can actually have like a real conversation with the people I'm in the party with and playing with. So that's my app of the week this week. It's gonna be the Xbox app. And also it makes it like easy to set up your new Xbox and stuff. So
Oh,
that's where it's at.
that is that's clutch. I love that feature. For me, it's gonna be X or Twitter, as it used to be called. I get so much news from this that I like to have multiple sources. So it's kind of like an RSS almost feed, but I also like rock with it a lot. And I like just what it has to offer for like I can post some things there. It's like a social media aspect as well. But I just kind of like that interface and what it has to offer. So for me, it's going to be X.
Well, that pretty much brings this episode to a close. I
Hey,
know we went a
longest
little
episode
bit
so
over
far.
time, but we will we'll get that under control here soon. I promise. I know that
I
some people
I
keep
don't
telling me
care if we go over. I think people that do type podcast can go from 1 to 3 hours, and we're
I've
far
never
below that
watched
the
one
average.
that's 3 hours.
Oh, yeah, Wall Street Journal, 95 Max. I mean, look them up. That's what they are. It's okay. And podcasts are different. People listen to them in sections, and they pause it and listen to the next day. Keep in
So
mind, we're
nine to
doing
five
once a
max
week.
podcasts are all like 30 minutes.
Okay, they have more than one though. I think I could be wrong. Okay, any case, right now I want to just thank everybody again for the growing views that we're getting. It's fantastic. Please join the Discord as well and our social media outlets and like us and follow us. Uh, Try to get more engaging. We want to hear you guys' thoughts about what we talk about on the podcast or in general. Give us some show topics. If you have some ideas you want to talk about in the podcast, just let us know and we'll bring it up. If you want to be a guest, let us know. We might make it happen if we get enough engagement. Depends on who you are and depends on how you're going to act, of course, in the podcast. So we'll make that choice. But we're open to that too, for sure. What I'll say is thank you everybody for what you do, for listening to us. Really appreciate it. And we're trying to make it even better each and every week. Thanks again. Anything else, Quasey?
Oh, just have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, have a wonderful week. We'll see you guys.